if you have also tough ones, please send those in and ask those after the session. Whatever it is, you will get an answer, I promise. So let's crack the Ecg code and unlock see what it has regarding productivity, consistency, quality, sustainability, and so on. So let's start with the possibilities. Steve, why Ecg is the flexo heartbeat in one sentence?
One sentence is a bit hard, but when you look at Ecg, it simultaneously supports the three vital signs of any competitive flexo plant in graphic performance, operation efficiency, and cost and complexity reduction. And so that becomes a vital sign, and that's why it's pretty much known as the heartbeat. Often people will say analogs are the heart, but the Ecg becomes the heartbeat.
As we know, during my 20 years, 25 years, I've been facing every time the same kind of a resistance that why should I do that and so on. So why, if you had to convince a skeptical converter, what would you tell them? What would be the reason to make the change?
If they want to be able to present to brands cost efficiencies and not compromise quality, then Ecg is the only way of doing that. Now, also more importantly in Asia, where you've got gravure doing spot colours with vignettes. Once you start adding a spot colour with vignettes in flexo with heavier analogs, it doesn't look that pretty.
That was true. It was Drupa 2016, as we were showing the dog food sample, pet food sample, and people were saying, this is not flexo, this is gravure. No, it's flexo, and it was done in 6 colors. JC, which business metric improves first after changing to Ecg?
As we are printing with a set analogs and ink, I think the first major advantage that we see by adopting Ecg is a drastic reduction in your press downtime.
Press downtime. Does it happen in weeks or months, or how quickly you see it?
Yeah. So you could probably you can probably see it both in a week as well as a month. So what we see in a week is because of the less stoppages on the press, faster make ready, we see almost like a 30 to 60% increase in the press efficiency or the utilization. So this can be evaluated within weeks of implementing Ecg. And the other benefits like reduction in your ink inventory, your number of plates being ordered, because you're going to order lesser number of plates for sure when you adopt Ecg, and press return inks, it's practically next to zero.
Yes.
Yeah, and the consistency in printing. So all these reduce your total cost of production, and this can be measured within months of adopting Ecg.
Yes. And I would add here that when people think that, but I don't have enough jobs, that's a question what I get. Of course you don't have. You have to start with the 2 jobs, and you print those after another, and then one by one you build it. It doesn't happen overnight that you suddenly have 100 jobs in Ecg. But actually we have one who has been doing that also for a long time. So Chatura, what is the biggest misconception about Ecg that you face normally, even today?
I would probably say one of the biggest misconceptions would be, especially when you compare to conventional printing, when you're using special colors that you compromise on quality. And also you can't achieve the expected color targets.
How you come over this? What is your answer?
Because with especially the brand managers, etc., what they want is for you to achieve the expected colors, everything. So with Ecg, what it does is it standardizes your process. So when you standardize your process, your quality improves. And brand managers especially, they don't expect you to print something perfect once. They expect you to consistently do it across multiple SKUs.
Exactly.
So I think that's definitely one of the biggest misconceptions.
Can you make it with Can you make it with Ecg?
Definitely.
Yes. Okay. Good. Steve, if a printer wants to start tomorrow with Ecg, what is the first thing to standardize?
To stabilize or standardize?
Stabilize, let's say.
You know, stabilize people, the management. It has to be driven from the top, and it's got to have a belief. Once you get that, then you've got to stabilize the print condition and stop thinking about traditional flexo where you're changing tapes, changing analoxes. So, but it's driven from the people first, and then it's about process control over the press.
Yes, it's kind of like locking the settings and that's it. Easy. Okay,
Wow.
Chatura. Speaking about brand colors, what can you tell about brand color accuracy? How is that achieved and achievable?
I would probably say with brand color accuracy, we can achieve about 90%. In order for you to do that, you need to make sure you have the proper processors, systems, your back-end infrastructure, it has to be very strong, especially the color matching that happens at the pre-press or the chromeling stages. So what we tell our customers is also, you can do as many changes as you want at the chromeling stage, but once that is approved, we can't do any changes at the press.
90%. What about the 10%?
There are certain colors which you can't, of course, not within the color gamut,
Yes.
especially let's say the gold, the silvers. So that can be exception.
Yeah. Take the best out from that and take the best out from that. JC, if there is a failure, a mistake in the printing, where it comes from, who's to blame?
See, Ecg, the implementation of Ecg starts with the standardization process. So the standardization we could broadly categorize on the press side, the pre-press, and the plates. From the press perspective, if there is a deviation from the set standards, which is derived after the fingerprint, deviations could be in terms of the density, the dot gain, the hue of the ink, or even the restore tolerance. These can actually have a profound influence on the final print quality. So the key point is the standardization. We need to standardize the plates, ink, tape, the substrate, and also the analogs. See, the analogs, as everyone knows, is the heart of the machine. So keeping the analogs clean is absolutely required. And on the machine, obviously you should have the machine in mint condition, so your preventive maintenance should be religiously done. There is no excuses for that. I know a lot of printers who keep saying that, no, my machine is running 30 days in a month, I don't have a stoppage for maintenance. I mean, that's not going to work with Ecg.
No.
And coming to pre-press, I think it all starts again with standardization, creating of your profiles, because your 7-color profile is the most crucial starting point of the implementation process. So once your profile is created, any deviations from that would definitely create a big issue. And also on the plate side, we need to make sure that there is consistency in the quality of the plate in terms of the dot that is being anchored on the plate, and also the dimensional stability of the plate and the evenness of the plate, because all this can alter the ink transfer, the register issues on the press. So in a nutshell, if any of these parameters don't fall in line, for sure Ecg is going to fall flat.
And I would say that let's be patient. It doesn't happen first time, second time, third time. But after one repeats it, it's like a habit. So driving a bike is not easy on the first day. But after you have learned it, it's easy.
Absolutely.
Easy.
I mean, if a blind person can walk straight, then definitely all of us can.
Steve, it's been said that ECG needs an extra plate at least sometimes. What's the reality? Does the annual plate consumption increase or decrease within 1 year when moving to ECG?
Well, we see it decrease, and there's this misconception that you need 7 plates each time you do an ECG set. That's not correct. On average, with ELFT, they probably average out 5.5 plates over 100 jobs. So you're actually using less plates.
So you're motivated to say, let's move to ECG, so you are selling less plates, right?
That's not our motivation, but you mentioned that you can do more jobs in a given day. That's our
true.
motivation.
30% more jobs and 10% less plate consumption per job average, so that's win-win-win to everyone. Chatura, operators in a production, daily production, where do operators struggle most when somebody moves, when a printer moves to ECG? What's the problem in the production?
With ECG for operators, it's a complete change in their mindset. I think that's one of the biggest challenges for them because for operators, when you think of them, they're like artists, right? So they love to kind of tweak things in the machine. They will change something in the inks. Even if it's perfect, they will still go and do some sort of adjustments to improve the output. Whereas with ECG, it's a science, right? Everything is standardized. So the difficulty probably for the operators is with the conventional method of printing, let's say even if they don't follow the processes systems exactly what you have implemented, the final outcome probably would not change as much, or they are able to, with their skill level, to correct that.
Yes.
With ECG, especially if you bypass that, the final outcome would immediately change.
So I would say it's a teamwork.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, JC. Typically, I also hear that my brand owner won't accept this. So why brand owner would accept, and what are the benefits for the brand owner to move from spot colors to ECG for the brand owners?
I think the biggest advantage for them is definitely the consistency of colors across all the SKUs. And also with multiple production sites, having a global color alignment is absolutely required today. So the drive for them would definitely start with the color consistency and also the faster rollout of new products, especially the seasonal variants of products. This would be a big challenge if they're going to do it with the conventional CMYK spot colors. I mean, the turnaround time of packaging in ECG is far, far lower. And also, with the reduction in the number of plates, the overall reduction in the cost of the packaging, they can also meet their sustainable goals. Yes. I mean, today the brands are definitely putting a lot of weight on sustainability. I think the driving factor would be this.
Yeah, and I would say that please keep in mind that when brands are making several SKUs, so in a one print, you can print several SKUs in a one shot. Typically, you have, 6 plates plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, 24 plates for this run. In this case, it was 6 plus white. So no 27, sorry, 27 with the white. Sorry, for the plate supplier. But then I also hear that you need some investment, initial investment. Chatura, are the investments needed right away? And if yes, what to invest?
Of course, you need to have a good printing press. And I think with ECG, especially with all the other supporting equipment, also plays a equal roles. So you need to make sure you have the good analog-source, good plates, ink, all the supporting equipment are also very important. But I would also say equally, it's important to have good partners as well. I think especially when we started this journey being a gravure printer from a point of view coming to Flexo. So I think we were very fortunate enough, I think, to have Steve and Miraclon team also getting on board at the very early stages. So when you have good partners, you know, they will be there to support you because you're going to come across multiple problems, multiple issues. It's common. But if you have right partners on board, they will be there to encourage you, support you. I call Steve, you know, sometimes, you know, in Australia about 12 o'clock in the night for some other matter, maybe some other issue with some other machine or whatever, and he'll be making the calls to his seniors and, you know, helping me. So that's the level of support you need or partnership you need as well.
This might be obvious to you, but I would say that new printing press is good, but good maintenance and housekeeping is even better. So even the new printing press, when it's not maintained, is
definitely.
not
I mean, that's a given. I think, especially with ECG, you have to any process, any system which you implement, you have to maintain it. But if you divert from that, of course, then you'll be coming across a lot of problems.
But I would say that even though it sounds like, okay, this needs control, this needs effort, this needs something, it's everything about stabilizing the printing, narrowing the tolerances, reducing the waste, and producing more. So it is an investment. Steve, also we hear that my customer won't accept the ECG because you have to change the design. So does the design need to be changed, and if yes, what are the typical points where the design needs to be changed for ECG?
I look at it very simplistically that you shouldn't have to change the design because what you're trying to achieve with ECG is the design that may have been used for Flexo. And if you're going to simulate that, you shouldn't be changing the design. The only area that may change is if there's a colour that's out of gamut. And you may have a conversation with the brand owner. Well, you know, there's a design colour there. Can we change that? Here's the proof. This is what it looks like. As long as it's not a brand colour, which is mandatory, you maintain those. But any other design colours, you have that conversation. But in terms of changing design, no. My background's litho, and I have the same idea about litho as I do for gravure and what we call modern flexo.
My recommendation is typically make the texts and barcodes in black or in one color if possible. If not, then it's also not a problem. But
that's black only for barcodes. Whether you're printing CMYK plus spots, it would normally be.
And my ex-colleague said an interesting thing that when people speak about spot colors, something magical happens in their brains. People always think that the spot colors are always correct. Even though when we measure afterwards, they might not be. But I would say that that's the point where ECG is working well. Chatur, one more to you. Which kind of disappointments customer gets if your customer gets angry? What's the reason for that? What's the disappointment with ECG, if anything?
Most of the time, whenever, from now, we've been doing this for about 2 years now. Whenever we have come across a certain problem and we go back and do a proper root cause analysis, what we always find is that we have bypassed a certain system or a process. So it's extremely important that, if you have implemented a certain system or process, you have to follow it. If you can't follow it, you should not implement it.
I fully agree, because my point is, as I said, what you see is what you get. So if everything is stable and under control, you should see on the proof not the brightest colors. No, you get the actual colors, what you get out from the machine, and no surprises. So if you sign it, that's good. If you don't sign it, do something else.
Like we have also, I think, learned the difficult way. Sometimes, we have made certain mistakes even at the pre-press of making of the plates, especially at the initial stages. And then what we try to do is we try to do that adjustment in the press, and you just keep on going in circles. You keep deviating from what you're supposed to actually achieve. So I think now our operators have learned that. So now if you identify a particular issue, we will stop that job, we will move on to the next job, and we will do that correction at the pre-press stage.
JC, from the pre-press role, how do you see this transformation, Ecg transformation? Does it typically start from the brand owner that they say, we want to have Ecg, or is it the printer who says we want to have Ecg, or is it the pre-press who says we would like to push Ecg? So where it initiates?
I guess it is initiated from all three, the brand, the pre-press, and the production as well. So from the brand perspective, I guess it is definitely the advantages of color accuracy, color consistency, faster product rollout, reduction in the cost of packaging, and also, as we discussed earlier, the sustainability goals. From the pre-press, I guess it is more of a standardization process, and also the ease of converting a spot color to multicolor. So for us, I think it is definitely, we'll have more control on the entire workflow in terms of doing a job. From the production point of view, it is definitely, again, the ease of operation, the reduced cost of production, and lesser number of plates, etc. So in a nutshell, if you have to answer this question in just one line, I would say Ecg is initiated by the brands, it is engineered by pre-press, and it is validated by production.
Okay, very nice, very well said. Then, Chatura, I've been following you. It was very nice. Even in Finland, I have read about ALFT packaging and how you have implemented the multicolor system. That was like some years ago already, and I've been following you since that. But how quickly actually it did go? So was it like okay, I have an idea and next day we print, or how long it takes to implement Ecg? What does it take?
I think we were lucky because before this we did not know anything. So when we started our project as well, from the day one, we want to start with Ecg. So I think any company which want to start on Ecg, if you have the right systems, the right equipment, it doesn't take that long to start, to be very honest. But I think what's important is, I think going through this journey, what I realize is what's important is sustaining it. So you have to probably spend a lot of time on training and development. We do a lot of internal audits, etc. Anyway, our company was also initially, when we set up the company as well, it was mainly set up for the food industry. So we did have a lot of protocols, a lot of systems where operators were used to. So for Ecg as well, it was something similar which we had to implement. So it was a bit of an easier journey because especially our operators did not have any, not necessarily bad habits, but especially with the conventional method of printing.
Yes. Me at home, our family has a puppy, a dog, 6 months old. And for a puppy and for a fresh dog, it's easy to teach new habits, whether those are good or bad, but it's easy. But as you said, I would also say that by experience, I've seen that teaching old dogs new habits, so that at first learning away from the habits and then learning new habits. So I have done projects in South Africa, and they have been happy because now we can do it, and now we can hire fresh people, and they just run the machine. Because of course, in Flexo, typically you need the most skillful printer to tackle the challenges. But actually, with the teamwork, it would be something else. Okay, then let's save some time for the questions. So please be prepared, because in Germany it took like 2 hours, but now we have some 15 minutes. So please be quick and prepared. Chatura, final question. What will be the reason to drive change? What is the reason to drive change to ECG printing? Why?
I think for example, I think one of the inspirations for me is McDonald's in terms of standardization, especially what they have done with the fast food industry. And I really feel, ECG is something you can implement in our printing is something which is I feel is very chaotic, it's very difficult for you to standardize. So ECG somewhat, it allows you to standardize your process. And also I think another reason is, the skill level. Even in Sri Lanka, it's very difficult for you to find a highly skilled operator, especially for the flexo. Even in India, I think that there are a lot of presses coming into the market. The amount of operators you can get is quite less. So when it's a system-driven operation rather than operator-driven, so you don't probably need such a high skill level of operator. So we had this year, early this year, we had actually a vacancy in our flexo. And what we did was we actually got a helper from Gravio and transferred him to flexo, and within about 3 months he was able to operate the machine.
Yes.
And run a shift. And I don't think that would have been possible if you were running with the conventional method.
Yes. Steve has been answering to my multiple questions already with the one sentence, so therefore I'm not asking from you. But JC, the last question. I'm familiar with Europe and South Africa, especially South America, and seeing how it is. But now let's talk about Asia. So shall this happen? Shall the Asian market, how do you see it? Shall it move to ECG? And if it does, when?
I think I'm the wrong person to answer this question, but yet what I could say is the whole process of implementing ECG depends on the standardization of your entire workflow, right from the pre-press to the production. And what I see is this is still maturing in Asia. The whole standardization process is still maturing in Asia. So the push for ECG definitely would be from the brands who have already implemented this in the other parts of the world, and they're looking at reproducing the similar colors or having color consistency across the globe. And also with the exploding number of SKUs and faster rollout of new products, I think the converters in Asia would be forced to adopt ECG in the coming future. As far as my guesstimate would be, ECG would become the main, the option of printing probably in the next 3 to 5 years, starting off with the labels, because we have a lot of standardization happening as far as the label converting is concerned, followed by flexible packaging, which could take another couple of years more extra because of the complexities of the substrate and handling of the solvent-based inks.
Yeah. What has been interesting in my discussions is that when I'm asking from the brand owner, what do they like about digital printing, they say yes. Then when I'm asking, what do you like about digital flexo? No. So it's about the same, but I would say that digital printing is our friend and it shows the way, and therefore labels would be easy. Okay, are you ready? So do you have some questions? I could pass you the microphone. Yes, I'm okay. It was quicker. Sorry. Go ahead.
My question is for both of you. You can ask one by one. So, what is the consistency you get in ECG versus spot color? In ECG versus the spot color?
So there is one.
Jayachandra, you told that ECG will be more consistent compared to spot color printing. So how can justify that ECG spot color is more consistent?
See, when you're printing with spot colors, what is that you are trying to achieve? Your LEB value of your spot color, right? So you're trying to maintain a delta of less than say 2. Maybe there are customers who even ask for a delta of 1.5, 1 or 1.5. So similarly, when you're talking about ECG implementation, we do have certain tolerances that you need to adhere to. So the tolerance again would start with the solids. The solids, we are talking about a delta in density which would be not more than 0.05 plus or minus. The delta E could go up to 2. I'm talking about the solids. For the overprint colors, it can go up to 3. And the dot gain, which is very important, here we need to maintain less than plus or minus 3%. So ideally it is the same. I mean, whatever you're doing with the spot colors.
Spot color, there is no dot gain because it is a spot color.
No, there is a dot gain.
No,
if it is a solid, yes.
Yeah,
but
solid,
if you have a solid.
Solid Coca-Cola red, if it is a red color, so how consistently you will get in ECG compared to the spot color?
As long as you maintain these parameters, for sure you will have the consistency.
Which one is the easiest one?
That's a difficult question. I would say definitely it is a spot color is easy. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would
Let's
say
be frank
here,
about
yes.
it. Let's
Yes.
be frank about it.
Yeah.
See, ECG is an option for you to have a faster job turnaround time, ease of operation, but it cannot be a substitute for spot colors.
Okay. Second question. So suppose we have only 2 color job of spot color. Then also we have to use all 7 color for the for the ECG.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. So I would like to put it this way. Now, how many of you over here are flexo printers? Can you please raise your hand? Great. So how many of you are actually printing a direct or a reverse text, a positive or a reverse text in 3 colors? So all of you are actually ECG ready. So in ECG, what we normally do is we try to limit the number of overprint colors to 3. So with a combination of 3 colors out of the 7 colors, we try to get the best match. So if it is less than a 4 or a 5 color, it will be a 4 color halftone or a graphic with 1 or 2 Pantones, then we talk about ECG. If it is just a 2 color job, stick to spot colors.
Yes.
I would say
I got my answer.
I would say here that there is a primary question in ECG. The color matching happens in the pre-press, and for the spot colors it happens at the press. And at the press it can be today something, next week something. Hopefully it's the same because of the control. So because of the control it can be the same, but I've been seeing it also too often that it changes.
No, if it is an ink kitchen, then the color will be the similar at the same at the all the time. I think printing a spot color reverse is very easier than printing ECG spot color reverse 3 colors.
I haven't seen a problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So again, it's a word of caution over here when you're trying to do your ECG gamut mapping. Normally what we do is anything which is a point size which is less than 6 points, I would definitely suggest to go for spot colors.
And my favorite example is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola red. So that's only 1 color, but I would say that it would be good to print in 2 colors with the ECG, because then you have fixed color in the press. You are not changing the spot colors. Of course, Coca-Cola runs all along, so that's not such a good example. But it gives the understanding that even though you would have 7 plates, it's more economical and more effective to make it with 7 plates than in 5 colors. Because when you think that what does it cost to make 7 plates, the difference is not so big. But if you start taking away the inks, washing the inks, bringing back to ink kitchen, taking the fresh inks from the ink kitchen, so the logistics, you have lost the money several times already. And second, I would say that there is surprisingly big tolerances in the spot colors. Of course, not all the spot colors as said. So, but with the proofing, you can say what it is, and you can also say that this is not good to make in ECG. Let's make it in a spot color. Hybrid is still fully possible.
I have
Excellent
a question. When you do fingerprinting of for ECG, what is the speed that you recommend to do the fingerprinting?
Chatura. The speed of the fingerprinting for ECG.
So the answer to that question would be follow the speed what you're actually going to do on your production run.
So you mean if I have to print at 150 meters, I have to do it?
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
thank you.
It's very important that the ink transfer is the same at the production speed. So the fingerprint is a snapshot of your print condition at speed.
And each job should contain control elements, and you are verifying it each time, saying if it's standard, stable. Excellent. There is hands up, and if still some, so we have a couple of minutes time, I guess. It shows 2 minutes.
I have one question. Like in the initial phase, when you start the job for any printers, they start printing the jobs with ECG, but they do also have some jobs with their existing portfolio. So how good or how convenient is it for them to switch in and switch out between two different processes? Because normally printers are hesitant to switch to ECG because they believe that when you are going into ECG, you always need to print with the like fixed deck printing.
Very often this question will be raised also. Chatura, what would you say? So the problematic that there are on the market jobs which are ECG printed and still traditional.
That's why I said, I mean, we do that as well. So even though we are mainly produced on ECG, there are sometimes that we have certain customers which prefer to print on spot colors. But majority of the jobs we should do are on ECG. So changing between ECG to spot color is the same as, let's say, you're anyway printing your conventional method of anyway spot colors. So it would not really make a big difference, I would say.
And I would say that, of course, there are different printers in the world for the brand owners. So one is printing one thing, the other something else. Will those match? Actually, Coca-Cola is all over the world pretty much the same. So it can be printed. Let's take one more.
Rutul, Rutul, to answer your question, I think a lot of flexible packaging converters over here. What do they do when they have to move from a surface print to a reverse print? They have to plan the jobs well in advance, right? So when they're going in a reverse print mode, you try to finish all your jobs which is lined up for reverse print. So the same theory, I think it works over here as well.
Okay, one more.
Hello.
And the rest of the questions can be come later.
I'm Tushar Dote, and I come from the offset side of the printing, though I am very keen in the labels. And there was hexachrome printing earlier, a proprietary in offset packaging, right? So it was similarly 6 colors, 4 color plus orange and violet or green, right? But that was not so successful as spot colors, 4+2 or 4+3. So is this ECG, I'm just trying to understand why it failed and why we think that ECG can benefit.
Well, I'm sorry.
Is my question making sense? I don't know.
Sorry, Tushar, I'm sorry, we are just short of time. You can discuss with Steve and others a little later, please. if you don't mind. I'm sorry, because I can't go beyond the time.
In Germany, it took 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a long discussion. Tushar, so thank you very much for such an engaging panel discussion. The first one of the day. And please put your hand together for the speakers. Thank you so much for making it possible. Now to respect of, to honor them, we have Mr. Reddy to, where is Mr. Reddy? Yeah, please come, sir. We have Mr. Reddy to give memento to our speakers, please. First one is Mr. Kai, Dr. Kai. Dr. Kai, please, hold on. Dr. Kai, your memento, please. Just a minute, sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Then we have Mr. Steve, please. Please continue. Right, thank you. Then we have Chatura Jayatisa. Thank you. We have Jay Chandra. Yes, please. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for making it a very engaging one. A lot of questions you have arised, okay? A lot of curiosities. Group picture, yeah, please come. Group. Dr. Kai, please come for a group picture. Sir, you be also here.